I never believed in things that couldn't be explained. Not ghosts. Not curses. Not the feeling of being watched when you're alone. That changed the night I moved into apartment 317. The building itself was all too old. The kind of place where the elevator groaned like it was in pain. And the lights in the hallway flickered, just a little too often to feel normal. But the rent was cheap, and I needed somewhere fast. The landlord was a thin man with pale eyes. When he handed me the keys, he hesitated. "Don't open the last door," he said. I laughed. "What last door?" "You'll see it," he replied. "Just don't open it." I assumed it was some weird joke. Maybe a broken closet or a storage room filled with junk. I nodded, took the keys, and moved in. The apartment was surprisingly large. There was a kitchen, a living room, a bedroom, and a long hallway that stretched farther than it should have. At the very end of that hallway was a door. It didn't match the others. While the rest of the doors were painted white, this one was dark, almost black, and the paint looked wrong, like it had been layered over and over again, thick and uneven. I walked toward it, and I stopped. Something felt off. Not scary exactly, just heavy. Like the air near the door was thicker. I remembered what the landlord said and shook my head. "Don't be stupid," I muttered. I turned away. The first night was quiet. Too quiet. No sounds from neighbors. No cars outside. Just silence. Around 2:13 a.m., I woke up. I don't know why. At first, I thought it was a dream. But then I heard it. A soft sound. A knock. Not from the front door. From the hallway. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. I sat up, heart pounding. "Hello," I called. No answer. I got out of bed and stepped into the hallway. The air felt colder. The sound came again. Knock, knock, knock. It was coming from the last door. I froze. "Probably pipes," I whispered to myself. "Old buildings make noise." But I knew that wasn't true. Pipes don't knock like someone asking to be let in. The next morning, I checked the door. There was no handle on my side. Just a flat surface. No keyhole. No knob. Nothing. I ran my hand over it, confused. "How does it even open?" I said. That's when I noticed something else. Faint scratches. Long, thin lines running down the surface. Like something or someone had been dragging their nails across it. From the inside. That night, I tried to ignore it. I watched TV, played music, even called a friend to distract myself. But around the same time, 2:13 a.m., it started again. Knock, knock, knock. Only this time, it was louder. More urgent. I covered my ears. "Stop," I said out loud. The knocking stopped. For a moment, there was silence. Then something new. A voice, soft, weak. "Please," I felt my blood turn to ice. "Please let me out." I couldn't move. It's so dark. The voice sounded close. Too close. Like it was right behind the door. This isn't real," I whispered. "He's coming." My heart skipped. "Who?" I asked before I could stop myself. There was a long pause. Then something slammed against the door, hard. I stumbled backward, falling to the floor. A scream followed. Not just fear but pain. And then silence. The next day, I went to the landlord. "What is that room?" I demanded. He didn't look surprised. "You heard it, didn't you? There's someone in there," I said. "We need to call the police." He shook his head slowly. "There's no one in there." I heard a voice. "You heard what it wants you to hear." I stared at him. "Open the door." "No." "Open it." His expression darkened. "If you open that door," he said quietly, "it won't be them coming out." I should have left. Packed my things. Found somewhere else. But I didn't. Because that night, the voice came back. And this time, it knew my name. "Daniel." I froze. "Daniel, please, how do you know my name?" I whispered. "I've been here so long." The knocking started again. Faster now. Panicked. "It hurts, please." I stepped into the hallway. Every instinct screamed at me to stop. But I kept walking. "You're the only one who can help me." I reached the door. Up close. The scratches looked deeper. like they had been made in desperation. He's behind me, my hand hovered over the surface. He's smiling, my breath caught. Who is he? I asked. Silence. Then a different voice. Deeper. Closer. He's you. The door clicked. I didn't touch it. It just unlocked. A thin line appeared as it slowly opened inward. Darkness spilled out. Not normal darkness. Thick. Moving. Alive. Come inside, the deep voice whispered. I tried to step back. I couldn't. My body moved forward on its own. No, I said, struggling. But my feet crossed the threshold. The moment I stepped inside, the door slammed shut behind me. It was pitch black. I couldn't see anything, but I could hear breathing. Right next to me. Then a whisper in my ear. You took too long. Pain exploded in my chest. I looked down. I couldn't see, but I could feel it. Something sharp inside me. Something pulling. Ripping. I tried to scream. No sound came out. When I opened my eyes again, I was back in my bedroom. Morning light streamed through the window. I gasped, sitting up. It was a dream, I said, shaking. Just a dream. I got out of bed. Everything looked normal. Too normal. Then I noticed something. The hallway. It seemed longer. I walked slowly toward it. And stopped. At the end, there was a door. White. Just like the others. No black door. No scratches. Nothing. I laughed nervously. See? Nothing, I said. I turned to go back. Knock, knock, knock. My blood froze. The sound came from behind me. From the door. I turned slowly. And that's when I saw it. Scratches. Fresh. Appearing one by one. As if something inside was dragging its nails across the surface. Then a voice. My voice. Please let me out. And from the other side something smiled.